Hotapu, so welcome to this class on the root chakra, and we're going to review the core meaning of why you should bother with studying the chakras. First of all, it's a very ancient system. It so happens that the blacks of Dravidia of southern India, who forged the original tantric systems, preserved this for us. It moved into the Vedic system of the whites of northern India to become the chakra system, and then it became other forms of Buddhism and spirituality, like the Dhyana Buddhas and such. But it began before the nations of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa in southern Black India in Kemet, because the chakras are universal phenomena of the spirit. In other words, the Black Dravidians of South India weren't the only people in the world who could access this internal state of consciousness where you can see these chakras, this shamanic visioning. In fact, as we know, the southern Indian people were called the people of Indus Kush. Well, all of India was called Indus Kush, and Kush means Ethiopia, and Indus means indigo or blue-black. So the Indus Kush original people were the blue-black Africans of India, of which you still find many, particularly in the south, against whom the caste system of apartheid has been used, with the Indian caste system where the light-skinned Indians are considered superior to the Shudras, the dark-skinned people. Shudra has the same root as root, the same root as the word soot, which is black. So the Indus Kush people came from Kush, which was Ethiopia in Africa. Ethiopia was part of Kemet, of ancient Egypt. So the origin of the chakra system we must trace back to from Indus Kush to Ethiopia Kush, which was part of Kemet. And here on the screen you see, in this top image of the Papyrus of Ani, it says here the Papyrus of Ani in very small letters, perhaps on your screen resolution. Here we have the seven, I only have 4 listed here, but there are 7 of them, called the 7 Arits, the 7 gates. And so the blacks of the Nile Valley of Kemet also had their gay shamans who were able to have shamanic vision of these states of energy along the spine. So that's a bit of the history of how to trace the origin of the chakras. And why is that important? Because you want to look at how the original founders of the system saw it. Because all subsequent versions of the chakras are going to miss things, are going to have different points of view from the founders. Best to start from the beginning. So the chakras, what we call the arit, and the word arit means gate, it means portal, it means hall, it means gatekeeper. The word for gay shamans in our system is called the arityu, those of the gates. And when we say gatekeeper, it's not a generic term, some bland, blanketed phrase. It refers specifically to the chakras, to the constellations, which are gates, starry gates, and to voodoo energies. Plants are gates, gems are gates, words of power are gates, colors are gates, and you combine the voodoo items of gates that open you up to certain states of power and consciousness. You combine those with chakras and astrology, astral traveling. So it's, again, gatekeepers are those who guard the gates of the chakras and meridians, those who guard the gates of the constellations, and the gates of voodoo paraphernalia. Okay, now, the word arit also means, ari means to see. It also means to do or to be a creator. The word for creator is ari. So the arit means a chamber or a hall that creates. It is a place where the creator creates within you. It is a chamber where creative labor is done. What it's getting to, the word arit, means, ar means to see and to create. If you go into these astral halls, these psychic halls along your spine, and you bring your awareness into these halls, you can do work in there to create things in your life. It's basically an ancient tool for manifestation. All these modern New Age babbles about manifestation, how to manifest things, are so puerile, so childish compared to the ancient African sciences of how to actually create. So the word chakra, arit, means the hall from which to create manifestations. If you want a car, there's a hall in you, a place in you, that if you look into it, will magnetize a car to you. If you want a relationship, or a better job, or more friends, or peace and enlightenment, there is a hall in you, a chamber within, that if you go into it and you open your eyes to perceiving this place, through perception, you can create things, the homes, the cars, the friends, the inner peace. So they're very practical. The chakras are very practical. It's very useful to know how to create within yourself. That phrase, you must create it within first. Well, we mean it quite literally and very specifically. So, here we have shown on the screen here 4 of the arityu, 4 of the 7 gates of the chakras shown from the blacks of Kemet's point of view. And beneath here we have the more modern version of the Dravidian system, the yogic system of the root chakra, which I'll be discussing a bit today. Okay? So again, the purpose is to create something for your chakras, not to sit there and meditate and be cool and, oh, I'm spiritual, but manifest something. Okay. What I want to discuss is that this is the root chakra here, and this is the root chakra here, the first arit, the first gate. And the root chakra's function is to solidify material survival and abundance. If this gate here and the beings you're seeing here, these deities here, and the text that goes with it, if that gate, if that hall is not well furnished, not well built, you will have problems with money. You will have problems with maintaining a home or material abundance and success. You will have a problem feeling that you deserve to stay on earth, wanting to be alive. If this chakra is deranged, you have no money, you have no material possessions, and you'll be somewhat suicidal. You want to leave the physical form. You see? You will not have confidence in your body. You will always have a negative physical self-image, a negative body image. And you won't be able to sustain yourself on earth. You won't be eating well nutritionally, you won't have a home, you won't have anything material to talk about. That's why it's the root chakra, the beginning. And the god of this chakra, who hides in this gate, is called Geb, the earth god. But I want to give you first, before we go a bit into detail, about how the chakras work, and we'll discuss maybe one, probably only time for one, word of power within this gate, within this chakra, and how it works. Because the world has not heard much of the Egyptian version of these texts, I'm going to read it to you in ancient, I will translate it actually from the Egyptian or the Rinkam into English. So this gate here, we're talking about the root chakra here. Let's read the text from the Ani Papyrus, Book of the Dead, about this root chakra, the source of material and financial worldly security. The text reads, "Behold the first gate. The name of its gatekeeper is Sekred Ra Asht Aru, meaning inverted of face. multitudinous of forms. The name of its guardian is eavesdropper, also Semeti, and the name of its herald is Hakeru, meaning hostile voiced. Behold, the Osar Ani triumphant shall say when he cometh astrally unto the first gate. I'm adding a few words to help it be clearer. I am the mighty one who createth his own light of enlightenment. I have come unto thee, O Osar, and purified from that which defiled thee. I adore thee. Lead on. Name not the name of Restau, meaning the root chakra, or the tomb, unto me. Homage to thee, O Osar, in thy might and in thy strength, in Restau, the root chakra, or the tomb. Rise up and conquer, O Osar, in Abdu. Thou goest around about heaven. Thou sailest in the presence of Ra, the chi of Kundalini. Thou lookest upon all the beings who have knowledge. Hail Ra, thou who circlest in the sky. Verily I say, O Osar, I am the Sahu, the spiritual body of the chakras and meridians of the God. And I say, let not be driven hence nor upon the wall of burning coals me. Open the way in Restau, the root chakra and the tomb. Ease the pain of Osar. Embrace that which the balance of the scales hath weighed. Make a path for him in the great valley of the root chakra. Make light to be on the way to Osar. Now that is it's called the chapter in the Book of the Dead. When Budge translated this text, he called it the chapter of this, the chapter of that. The word chapter is not correct. It's more the meditation. So we won't say the chapter of the first arit, we say the meditations on the first arit. Now, if we look at the text, basically it was talking about a place called Restau, which means the cemetery, the tomb, but also the root chakra. And it says that I make my own light. I make my own enlightenment. Meaning that you have to exert your own blood, sweat, and tears to grow in consciousness. It won't fall from the sky. And it says, I've purified that which defiles thee, O root chakra. Do not make the name of Restau on to him, onto my root chakra. Meaning, may I not be bound to materialism. The root chakra is a place of materialism. May that not be my only goal in life. You see? And the text goes on to speak about Ra, who circles in the sky. That's the looping of Kundalini in your microcosmic orbit. That there is a pathway of energy in your spiritual system of the chakras that you have to circulate. So you have to kind of stir Kundalini, arouse it, and make it move like a current of electricity. And it says that let it be there no repulse to me at the wall of burning coals. The wall of burning coals, well, the wall is very material. This implies this wall of being bewitched and entranced by a purely materialistic life. That the physical world is a burning place of passions and a place of intense cravings, but may you go past that burning wall to a more sublime, higher spiritual life. I have opened the way in Restau. I have opened beyond the root chakra. After having secured it and become materially successful, materially rich and prosperous, I have opened the way in it, beyond it. I've eased the pain of Osar. I've eased the pain of my ancestral DNA being stuck on one plane, meaning I've gone higher. Okay? So we're seeing here way the Egyptians saw this chakra. Now, that's to give you a sense of the text of it. And recall, the gatekeeper was called inverted of face, meaning this chakra can get your head twisted. You can get your perspective twisted if you stay materialistic. You will think that's all there is to life, and that's a twisted, warped view of life that ignores the higher ethical, moral, and spiritual evolution that you should take before you leave this plane. And it says that it also is called many of forms, meaning that when you become materialistic, the forms of your passions never end. It's always some other craving. You get so much money, then you want a house, then you want a boat, then you want a car, and it never ends. It's multitudinous of forms. That passions and cravings and desires never stop once you really start without wisdom on how to handle them. The guardian's name was eavesdropper. Eavesdropper, meaning someone who lurks around trying to get tricks to get more material things. You're always on the listen out, the lookout for, how do I get more of this? How do I make my money more prosperous? And the way you listen in life is always with an ear bent towards, how does this conversation or person or event help me get more materialistic desires fulfilled? You see? You're always listening in for that. And the announcer is called hostile voiced. That when you start the world of cravings and insatiable desire, if you stop those pursuits of the cravings, the passions become hostile voiced. This is the phrase to be used for addiction. When a person doesn't take their addiction, the addiction assumes a very hostile voice, what's called fiending. You fiend and you crave that fix so badly that you will do anything, including becoming hostile, robbing people, stealing from people, killing people, to get your fix. So we didn't say a person was addicted, we say they were listening to he of the hostile voice, where the crack cocaine, marijuana, drugs, booze says, you better get some of me up in your body, or else I'm going to go crazy. Okay? Now, with that said, I want to take a little bit to discuss a word of power within this chakra, and how it applies, and how the chakra activates a bit. So there is a sound in this chakra, a strange attractor, meaning a kind of psychic whirlpool that pulls things to it. In chaos theory, they're called strange attractors, or patterns or habits. There's a sound called lung, lung, lung. It's pronounced like the lungs of your chest. Lung, lung. Now, this sound, when chanted in this chakra, you will see in this chakra a brilliant white light emerge from the sound. Brilliant white. And your whole ka will turn white, like white light. And the sound brings purification, and it brings knowledge. Now, what kind of knowledge? The sound sung, sung. I'm sorry, not sung, but yes, sung. Did I say lung? Lung is the main sound of this chakra, but I want to discuss the sub-sound of sung. S like snow, A-N-G, sung. So, sung, sung, sung. So let me recap, let me rewind. The sound sung is the sound of knowledge and a sound of purification, not lung. Lung is the sound that brings you the instinct to survive and to be strong on the material plane. Within lung is a sub-sound called sung, And Sung, which is the white light, Lung is more of a golden light. Sung, the white light. When you chant it, the white light glows. Your subconscious inner child becomes a luminous white color, like starlight. And the sound Sung gives you street smarts. If you chant Sung, 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 you will start to learn street smarts. If you are an idiot about the real world, how things really work, how the world's full of rotten people that will lie to you and beat you and steal from you and attack you if you look too vulnerable and too naive, and if you have that naivete problem, you chant the sound Sung, Sung, it will purify you from that and give you common sense street smarts. How to hustle. The knowledge of how to hustle in life, which clearly would help your root chakra, help you survive on the earth, because every creature must have a hustle to survive another day. So you see how pragmatic this is? It's not something far-fetched and airy-fairy. If you can't hustle, you won't get very far in business. And this is the chakra of business acumen, of the executive, of getting it done. Okay? Now, in order for this sound to fully activate, there must be a few conditions prerequisite. For example, I'll give you only a prelude to this. It's much more discussed in our future classes on the chakra. There is a golden cobra of sunlight. He's made of golden sunlight, sunshine. He is born from the left side of your third eye. His home begins from the left side of your third eye. He then descends, crossing your nose to the right side of you, and he descends like a golden shaft of a serpentine beam of light, sunlight, down the right side of your spine. He then, full of this fiery sunshine energy, this heat, will go from the left side over your left eye, crossing over down the right side of your spine. He then lands at the root chakra near your perineum, the muscle you squeeze when you're ejaculating. Yes? The taint, basically. That's where the root chakra is. He lands there. He hits it with a lot of fiery heat. The root chakra is the earth element, and the earth is cool by nature. So when this golden cobra of sunshine hits the earth chakra, the earth absorbs that heat. Then the earth opens a gate on the left side of the spine, and a silvery moon snake rises up the left side of your spine. So the key is to get this golden snake to go from his home above your left eye, basically, down the right side of your spine, and to send his heat to the earth. Many people don't have the golden snake go all the way down to the root. Sometimes the snake gets stopped on his descent. That sunlight gets stopped and never sends its heat to be absorbed into the earth element. And if that happens, if that snake does not reach his destination, you will have financial insecurities, body issues, diseases more frequent, low immune system, no material success, no material accumulation, and you will not think that you deserve to stay alive, so you become suicidal or self-destructive. So when the shamans of the golden beetle do their shamanic astral eye called the ujat, the eye of Ra, that famous Egyptian eye with a kind of curly Q coming from it. We go into a trance state and we look at the person's spirit body, their sahu, their aura, their meridians and chakras. We look for that snake, and if we see it is arrested from its descent, we know A, that's a problem. We know B, how to fix it. And we know C, the results of fixing it. So we do kind of like a shamanic surgery of sorts, a shamanic medical treatment of sorts, to snake charm that sunshine serpent of gold sunlight down to his destination of the root chakra, so he may release his heat to give energy to your root chakra, your worldly material life. Without that solar heat, your material life stays cold. The earth stays cold to you, meaning there is no solar energy to heat it up to give it life. And that's very dangerous psychologically, that's dangerous material-wise, and definitely damaging spiritually. So you'll learn how to snake charm that snake and say, get down there, land on the earth as you were commanded by the first ordinance of Neter, the creator, the androgynous creator. So once that snake hits, then triggering the lunar snake to go up the left side of the spine, now the sound sung will work. Now the root earth chakra in your system has the life force of the sun, the giver of all light and life in our solar system. To that sunlight energy, that solar flame, fuels the word of power, sung, and all of a sudden you start chanting sung, and a burst of white light occurs in the root chakra, and you just start getting common sense. You start learning how to hustle. You just get a natural, organic intuition, an instinct of how to cut business deals, how to see charlatans and shenanigans in business, how to slate the contracts that you need to your favor, as opposed to going to business school, which doesn't hurt you, but many people who are very successful business folk have never gone to business school or even college. They have good instincts, they're good street smarts, and know how to hustle. So whether or not you've gone to business school, there's something within you which is a natural businessman. There's within you your inner businessman. And to call him Sang, to call his hustle up Sang. So imagine having all these gay shamans chanting for hours at a time together in our sweet gay brotherhood, and then all of a sudden these men start becoming smart and shrewd executives. You see, these sounds awaken the talents already hiding within you. Whether you have it or not at birth, we can turn it on with a switch flip, and the switch is called sung. Okay? So I wanted to give you all an excerpt of what you'll be learning in the Golden Beetle classes. Through these sounds, you will learn all the chakras and their secrets. And I tell you, these chakras are fierce. They are fantastic. And once you learn them, you will go into them and you'll create things you need to manifest by going within, by zooming within to your fractal, going within to your boundary space, your boundary condition of your fractal, meaning your life, your patterns, your destiny. And by going within, you will project from the inner outward to magnetize things. Because those with magic, those shamans with magic, bring things to them. Those commoners and barbarians without magic have to go out and blood, sweat, and tear their way to get what they want. So learn how to bring your luck to you by opening to the gates within, the halls of manifestation of your chakras, ancient gay Kemetic style. So we look forward to seeing you in the class. We start June 21st, 2014. Email us below if you want to get more information, and we look forward to hearing from you all, my beloved gay brothers. Dwawend Hotepu.